Speaker is off. Please take speaker off. Speaker.
Good morning and a very warm welcome to all. On behalf of IQAC, MS Rama Institute of Technology, I would like to welcome today's chief guest, Dr. Dilip Malkhade, Advisor, ACT, Dr. NVR Naidu, Principal, MS Rama Institute of Technology, the resource persons, and all the participants for the 5-day webinar on NBA and NAAC accreditation process, sponsored by ACT. Before starting the morning session, we would like to present about MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology, Bangalore.
You can just start on it's coming. Sound is me. Sound volume. Where is the volume? Volume. Shit. Volume 0. No volume. Sound ಬರ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಇದೆ. First, hello. Stop sharing. Where is volume? You have played it. System is closed now. First, hello. Stop sharing. Where is volume? You have played it. Start from beginning. Start from beginning.
Law, pure sciences.
Here, you drag it. Okay, here. System is closed now. First, hello. Where is volume? You have played it. Start from beginning. Start from beginning.
Law, pure science.
Okay, here.
Management team.
Hi friend, welcome to MS Ramya Institute of Technology, better known as MSRIT. I am Shomu and I study Industrial Engineering and Management here at MSRIT. My friend Akansha and I are going to take you around our college and give you a glimpse of what MSRIT is all about.
Started in 1962 by the
Law,
renowned
pure science.
educationist, philanthropist and visionary, the late Dr. M.S. Ramaiah, MSRIT is one of India's best-known names in engineering education. The college is today guided by a dynamic management team consisting of Chairman Dr. M.R. Jairam, Vice Chairman Shri M.R. Sitaram, and Secretary Shri M.R. Ramaiah.
In fact, the year 2011 is our golden jubilee year, and we started the year. Welcome to MS Ramya Institute of Technology, better known as MSRIT. I am Shomu, and I study Industrial Engineering and Management here at MSRIT. My friend Akansha and I are going to take you around our college and give you a glimpse of what MSRIT is all about.
Started in 1962 by the renowned
Pure science.
educationist, philanthropist and visionary,
MSRIT
the late Dr. M.S. Ramaiah. MSRIT is one of India's best-known names in
And a part
engineering
of the Gokula
education.
Education Foundation.
The college is
An
today
initiative
guided by a
that owns and
dynamic
manages
management team consisting of Chairman Dr. M.R. Jairam,
Law,
Vice Chairman Shri M.R. Sitaram, and Secretary Shri M.R. Ramaiah. MSRIT is located in the heart of Bangalore city. I would say it is the most
started the year.
conveniently located
Welcome to MS Ramya
with
Institute
excellent
of Technology,
connectivity and
better
all
known
amenities
as
within a
MSRIT.
radius of
I am
2
Shomu,
kilometers,
and I study
making it really
Industrial
safe and
Engineering and
comfortable.
Management here at MSRIT. My friend Akansha and I are going to take you around the college and give you a glimpse of what MSRIT is all about. Various streams of
Started in 1962 by the renowned
Law, science.
educationist, philanthropist and visionary,
MSRIT
the late Dr. M.S. Ramaiah. MSRIT is one of India's best-known names in engineering education and facilities. The college is today guided by a dynamic management team consisting of well-established Chairman Dr. M.R. Jairam,
Law,
Vice Chairman Shri M.R. Secretary Ramaiah. MSRIT is located in the heart of Bangalore. workshops that provide
Welcome to MS Ramya Institute of Technology, better known as MSRIT. I am Shomu,
and a well-stacked line state-of-the-art
My friend, I'm not sure time. I'm going to take you around.
access and
What is
interaction. Leading experts from various started in 1962 by the renowned
Your
educationist,
sign.
philanthropist and visionary,
MSRIT
the late
college
Dr. The college is today guided by a dynamic management team, interacting all Chairman Dr. M.R. Jairam, Vice Chairman Shri M.R. Thomas,
We are very proud. Welcome to MS Ramya Institute of Technology, better known as MSRIT. I am Shomu,
and a well-stacked
engineering and I'm going to take you around.
access and
What is
interaction. We have regular experts from various started in 1962 by the renowned
Your sign.
educationist, philanthropist and visionary, the late
When it comes to sports and extracurricular activities, we have been winning consistently in various.
The college is today guided by a dynamic management team, interacting all Chairman Dr. M.R. Jairam, Vice Chairman Shri M.R. Thomas, we are consistently
We are very proud.
top 2 teams in BTU when it comes to cultural activities.
A very good morning to all. Sorry for the small technical glitches. I, Dr. G. M. Madhu, Professor of the Department of Chemical Engineering and the Program Coordinator for Margadarshan. I welcome Dr. Dilip Malkade, the Principal Advisor, the Advisor, AICTE, New Delhi, and Dr. N.V.R. Naidu, Principal MSRIT, the learned participants, the learned professors who have registered for this program, across the country for this 5-day faculty development webinar on NBA and NAAC accreditation process. We are overwhelmed. I'm very delighted and overwhelmed with the participation for this webinar. This is our 6th FDP under the Margadarshan scheme. MSRIT is a mentor for the 11 institutions working towards the accreditation and quality improvement programs with the mentee institutions. Out of our mentee institutions, 3 mentee institutions got accredited under Tier 1 and Tier 2. FDP program. In this FDP program, we have 10 sessions spread over 5 days. The talks are delivered by the experts who have really worked on the implementation of outcome-based education and the NAAC implementation procedures. And it will be dealt by the experts. The NAAC will be dealt by the experts from the NAAC Bangalore. For today's function, we have the chief guest. We have our chief guest, Dr. Dilip Malkade, advisor AICTE with us I welcome him on the behalf of the management and the staff of MSRIT. I welcome you, sir. It gives me a great pleasure in welcoming our beloved principal, Dr. NVR Naidu, and a meticulous, hardworking, and combined with a dynamic leadership. Under his supervision, the 21 programs of MSRIT has been accredited for NBA accreditation. I welcome you, sir. I welcome the resource persons who have accepted our invitation to share their knowledge. I welcome all the learned faculty who have registered for this program. This is my pleasure to read the brief resume of our chief guest, Dr. Dilip Palkade, the advisor, ACT, for accepting our invitation even with this busy schedule. Professor Dilip Palkade is currently working as ACT New Delhi as an advisor. Previously, he worked as a professor and head of the mechanical engineering at College of Engineering, Pune. He obtained his bachelor and master degree in mechanical engineering, followed by doctoral degree from IIT Mumbai. He has 30 years of experience in teaching and industry. As advisor of AACTE, he is responsible for taking a quality improvement initiatives for the technical education in India. He looks after the schemes such as RPS, MODROPS, Hostel for SC/ST students, Hostel for physically disabled students, seminar grant, conference grant, and variety of the scholarship schemes for a different category of students. Special scheme for Northeast or design. His focus is to quality improvement through a faculty trainings. He is the originator of few of the new scheme, NDF, for full-time funded research in AACT approved colleges, scheme for sending students for the teams for participating in competition abroad has brought laurels to the country. He has been instrumental in organizing Smart India Hackathon 2017 and for 2018, which is a nationwide students competition for solving citizens' problems. The competition was supported by 27 different Government of India ministers with a large number of students participating in 36 hours long non-stop computer programming event simultaneously happening at 26 different cities in the country. As an academician, he has approved PhD guide. His area of research is IC engines, its modeling and simulation and electric controls. He has his credit over several journals and conference papers. As a professor and head of COE Pune, he transformed the department by starting a co-teaching for every course, setting up the tinkering labs for a project-based learning through teams of students such as Bajaj, Cycle, Go-Kart, and Solar Powder Car. Bajaj COEP has brought it a laurels not only to the College of Engineering Pune by being a national champion, but also brought laurels to the country by excelling in Bajaj South Africa, Bajaj USA. He has set up a state-of-art Kirloskar IC engine laboratory. He has been guiding PhD students and published several research papers in national and international peer-reviewed journals. He has totally revolutionized the Prime Minister's special scholarship scheme and brought 1,000 J&K students into mainstream by providing the educational opportunities in the rest of India. These students are spread now across India and they are engaged in the development of motherland. He is a firm believer of solving Kashmir issue through education. He is conceptualized, started his QIP scheme from 2018-19 for sending faculty for doing PhD from top 500 top global university. This scheme will open up the option for about 1,000 faculty across the country. Thank you very much, sir, for accepting our invitation and being with us. Thank you very much, sir. Now I request you to address the gathering.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you, Professor, for a wonderful introduction. And while most of the part of the introduction is correct, but my current position is advisor, policy and academic planning. So
thank you so
in
much,
that
sir.
bureau, I was there for almost 3 years, 9 months, 10 months, and now I have additional responsibility now of policy and academic planning of this country. So thank you for inviting me, giving me this opportunity to talk to you on the eve of inauguration of a wonderful 5-day FDP on NBA and NAAC. And I am able to see many stalwarts here. So let me first uh, uh, identify some of the stalwarts. See, your principal, Professor Naidu, Professor Madhu, thank you very much, Professor Rangnath. I'm able to see here. Namaskar. So, many stalwarts you already have on the panel for maybe as a participants and also for giving talks. Uh, I'm indeed very glad that this COVID has not stopped you from working on this scheme Margadarshan. And I'm very amazed to see the large number of participants registered for this program. And on Zoom itself, there are 570, and there must be thousands on YouTube. So it's really, really wonderful. I can understand the efforts that you have put in popularizing this program. I'm sure a large number of participants will be benefited out of these 5 days of workshop. And my request to the participant is that this going to be a very unique program. So you may not be required to attend many training programs. So attend this particular program fully from day 1 to day 5. And I'm sure with this uh, program on NBA and NAAC accreditation throughout the country, every teacher will be aware of what is required to be done to get the accreditation done, because accreditation is so important. I have been involved in accreditation process for almost 25 years. That is from the inception of the NBA, and very actively involved since beginning, because my institution was accredited in the very first cycle. And in the very first cycle, I get go, and since then, in all the institutions that I have worked with, all the time, my department got accredited for full 5 years or 6 years. Now it is 6 years, but earlier it used to be 5 years. So therefore, this accreditation is very close to my heart, and therefore we had put in a lot of initiatives in making this scheme Margadarshan popular. Margadarshan is a scheme under which we provide mentorships, because currently, if you look at the accredited institutes, accredited programs, not the institute, because NAAC accredits institutes, NBA accredits program. So number of programs which are currently accredited are close to 16-17% only, and we have large number of institutions. It means 16-17% institutions are definitely providing good education. Others may be providing, may not be providing, because they don't have the quality mark. Like we buy ISI mark product, the product which is in the market, maybe non-ISI product also could be good, but who guarantees? So it is always better that they get ISI mark. Similarly, this NBA is a mark which is equivalent to ISI, and therefore ISI mark for this institution is very important, and that name of that ISI for education is NBA. Because we are very less in terms of number of programs accredited, which are 16-17%, it means these students who are studying in accredited programs are having immense advantages over the other students. And therefore, as a country, it becomes our duty to provide the good education to every single student. And when it is 80% plus number students which are not getting education through accredited institutions, it becomes our duty, and EICT realized it. NBA has also established its credibility, so no one can doubt the credibility of the NBA, and therefore any institution which has got NBA mark is definitely a quality institution, quality program. Now, because there are 80% plus, 83% odd programs which are not accredited, which is huge in terms of the numbers and number of students, it will be really very huge, because these students will be deprived of some advantages. Now, what are those advantages? Those 16 to 17% of the programs will be getting are many, like they will be getting funding, but most importantly, the advantage to the students when they go for international placement or the national placements, they are recognized as a quality students. They more international mobility from one institute, one university to the another university for their MS program or the PhD program is easy. From this institution, Indian institution, to the institution abroad, it is easy. From one institution in one country to the other institution in other country, that mobility is easy because we have accepted the international standards which are Washington, which are given to us through the Washington Accord that India has signed about 4.5 years before. And therefore, the norms, the practices that we adopt for accreditation are all accepted by the consortium, which is Washington Accord. Washington Accord was initiated in 1989, and it was signed by some of the countries in the first cycle. Then there was a second cycle, the third cycle, then the fourth cycle, and we were part of this signatory about 4.5 years before. And therefore, the processes in NBA that we adopt, the practices that we adopt, are all recognized by the consortium, and therefore this quality of the education even in Indian institution, but from accredited program, is of international quality. So therefore, these students get good education, and it is recognized. Most importantly is that it is recognized by the international agencies. And therefore, what we thought is that 80% of the institutions are not coming forward. So let us look at them. Why are they not coming forward for accreditation? Is it mandatory? No, the accreditation in India is not mandatory, and nor it is mandatory in the world. Approval is however mandatory. You cannot run the institution without AICT's approval. But for running a program, approval although is enough, but accreditation is not mandatory. And therefore the institutions are not going for accreditation, because somehow they are managing to get the students, but the students will be facing problems. So let me also share with you a story, example of Indian students, Indian engineers working in Kuwait. And in Kuwait, the Indian engineers who are working are about 14,000 in number. The population of the Kuwait is about 40 lakhs, and 1/4 of the population of Kuwait is Indian. So 10 lakh people, 10 lakh Indians, out of which 14,000 are engineers. And all these 14,000 engineers have started facing issues because the government has started implementing a policy of looking at the institution quality. So even if this Indian engineer who was migrated from India to Kuwait last year or 25 years before, all these senior, junior, all these engineers degrees were seen, and those who had had the degree from accredited institutions, they were allowed to continue to stay in Kuwait. Rest of the engineers are asked to go back. And that was very serious for a country like India. It means it is a blot on the quality of the education. And therefore it was very, very serious matter. And then we had invited them to look at our education system, how good we are. And we had gone and we have seen their education system, and we have explained to them that we have a huge higher education system where so many universities, so many institutions, affiliating system that we have, accreditation system that we have, then institutes of national importance, then the central universities we have, the state universities we have, the approval process of UGC and AICT, and accreditation process and policies and Washington Accord, everything was explained to them, and to some extent the problem was resolved. But it is not it is not stopped there, and the other countries in the Gulf, including Dubai and several other countries, have started looking at the institution quality. And institution quality is only defined by NBA. And therefore at AICT, what we did is to support, handhold such institutions who would like to improve the quality and get the accreditation mark. And therefore, we thought of mentoring them, hand holding them. And who will handhold? We have, strength of the country is very good institution, very good academicians. If there are academicians who are extremely good, but now not very actively involved, maybe because they are retired now or they have taken voluntary retirement, we thought of connecting them with these institutions, and expenditure is being borne by AICTE. And these are individual academicians who are retired from IITs, NITs, now not doing much. We requested them to go to these institutions for 1 day, 2 days in a fortnight, and stay with them, guide them, mentor them, remind them, talk to the student, talk to the faculty, sit in their laboratories, and go to these institutions regularly, not once in a while, not once say in a semester and deliver a talk and come back. No, regularly going to them, bombarding them, guiding them. And this was one model of guiding, mentorship, margadarshan. So this was one mechanism. Secondly, we also thought that there are some institutions who got accreditation for 2 cycles, 3 cycles, like Ramaiah Institute of Technology has multiple rounds of accreditation already done. And this is done because they have good faculty members, but they are not retired. They have working faculty. And therefore we thought this working faculty with some such institutions also should be roped in. And that is how Professor Madhu, who is in charge of this program, has conducted this program. And see the sensitization. Currently we have 619 people participant attending this. I'm very, very glad that these people are so motivated and so eager to learn and so eager to participate in the process of accreditation. I think a kind of a transformation is going to occur, and the number of institutions accredited, which are around 16% now, is going to rise very, very rapidly in next 1 or 2 years. So the mentorship was started by the individuals who are retired and by the institutions who are senior, and both these models were merged into one, and they were asked to help relatively junior institutions and handhold them, guide them, talk to them, conduct meetings, small meetings, big meetings, and workshops like this. So this workshop is going really, very unique in the sense that this is going to sensitize, and there are very good speakers invited. I was looking at the 2 days program. Very good speakers are invited, and these people will definitely motivate all these institutions who are not the part of the accreditation process yet. We have started this 25 years before, and now we need to take it seriously, and we have to understand how important the accreditation is. Now that Kuwait story, let me go back again to the Kuwait story. And these engineers who were from accredited institutions were given the continuation of visa, but other engineers who were from the institutions whose programs are not accredited even today. Say, for example, college XYZ, department mechanical, student passed out 7 years before, and he had gone to Kuwait. That department, if accredited even today, Kuwait government recognizes that. So they'll only look at the NBA website, and if the department name appears, I mean, if you wake up late also and get the department accredited, the government of Kuwait recognized that as a accredited department, and the past student of that department who was passed out when the department was not accredited and went to Kuwait will still get the extension of visa. And these engineers get there in Kuwait huge salaries, around on an average 50 lakhs per year, which is very difficult for them to earn in India. And therefore all these engineers were facing issues because most of them were asked to go back, and the children are studying, the family is settled, and it was a big setback for them. So you can understand, I think this is just one example that I have given of Kuwait, but there are many reasons why we should go for accreditation, and it is necessary, it is very important. So facilitation is done through Margadarshan. Finance is also given to the senior institution. It is for the benefit of other institutions. Now, there was a need for regulation also. So AICTE last year had come out with a decision of making this accreditation mandatory, which is not mandatory today. Okay, so it was made mandatory, and time of 4 years is given, and within that 4 year of time, you have to improve the quality. Wherever you are lagging, you need to improve the quality by recruiting faculty, by buying equipments, improving the processes. You get the things in place and apply for accreditation. Accreditation is mandatory for all these institutions to even function after 4 years. Another part of regulation is that every institution will be required to get accreditation even today if they want to expand the institution. So for example, you have a computer science engineering 60 seats approved, and you want it to increase to 120. AICTE was giving approvals every year without looking at the quality of the previous programs, but under the dynamic leadership of Professor Sahasrabudhe, Professor Punia as Vice Chairman, Professor Mittal, our member secretary, former member secretary, now Professor Raju, who is current member secretary, we have decided to make this accreditation mandatory even for the current institutions for expansion. So if you want to expand, you prove that you are good. So these are the regulatory decisions taken, and there is a huge appreciation of these decisions of making an accreditation mandatory, because no one has the right to offer poor education, because poor education leads to poor personality, poor engineer, and this poor engineer may not be able to work effectively. He may not be of use as an engineer, and therefore no one has a right to spoil generation, and that's the reason why AICTE made it mandatory. So I hope this 5 days of FDP will be really very wonderful program. My appeal to the organizer is to invite good people like Professor Ranganath and many others are there. And through this process of 1 year of mentorship, now we had provided this mentorship for almost 3 years now. But initial 2 years were not as rigorous as it was there in last 1 year, and therefore this has created a momentum now in this country, and there are many very good dynamic speakers available, and appeal to the participants to not only listen to these lectures carefully, but understand and implement it in your institution. As I told you, I have been part of this process for 25 years, and it's really a very enjoyable journey. We enjoyed working, and it becomes a very good teamwork. And when you work as a team, generally as a teacher, we don't work as a team because we have to prepare our notes, go to the class, deliver. But when this comes, it is really a team, and particularly on the day of the visit, the team spirit that you show or demonstrate, and we had been demonstrating, has given us a lot of insight, lot of dimensions it has added to our personality. And probably that is the reason also why I'm at the AICT currently. So it has taught me a lot of things. With this, I would like to wish you good luck, and once again, thanks to Professor Madhu, Professor Naidu. Thank you for this opportunity, and I really would like to be part of such programs in future also. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much for the nice briefing on accreditation process and its necessity. And you are the man who made this Margadarshan program to be more effective under AICT, sir. Thank you very much, sir, for sparing your valuable time with us.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
Thanks a lot.
So now I request our principal, Dr. N.V.R. Naidu, the Dean Engineering of VTU, to address the participants. I request our principal to enable the video and then start the presentation, sir.
Very good morning to all of you. Today's the chief guest, Professor Dilip N. Malkade, the advisor for policy.
Sir, excuse me, sir. Sir, please start the video, sir.
Good morning to all of you. Today's chief guest, Professor Dilip N. Malkade, the advisor for policy and academic planning, AICTE, New Delhi, eminent resource persons who are here presently, Dr. Ranganath and other eminent persons as resource persons from the various universities, academic institutions, and the organizations, the distinguished participants across the technical institutions of India, and the project coordinator, Dr. Madhu, and his team for this 5-day webinar on National Board of Accreditation and the NAAC accreditation procedures. The outbreak of this coronavirus has caused problems in the functioning of all countries across the globe. That is, the sectors like health, medicine, education, business, economy, etc. are all affected a lot. On this occasion, I would like to appreciate the fact that MS Ramaiah Institute of Technology has developed the e-course materials and video lectures and provided them through the various digital platforms to reach the students. At present, the aspect of local and global education suffers from the crisis of COVID-19. The rules of the social responsibility, social distancing will continue in accordance with the standard operating procedures issued by the central and the state government from time to time. To keep the pace of the faculty with the situation arising out of the present crisis, MSRT is organizing the first 5-day faculty development program through webinar on NBA and NAAC accreditation process under the Margadarshan scheme of AICTE. At this juncture, I would like to give a brief profile of our institute. The MS Rama Institute of Technology is a self-financing institution established in Bangalore in the year 1962 by the industrialist, educationist, and philanthropist late Dr. MS Ramaya. MSRT started with 2 engineering branches and has evolved by leaps and bounds into a major technical education center in the country. Currently, we have 13 undergraduate programs and 15 postgraduate programs offered, which are affiliated to Visvesvaraya Technological University, VTU, that is Belgavi. MSRT obtained an academic autonomy approved by VTU and UGC for all its UG and PG programs from the year 2007. MSRT is continuously ranked among the top 100 engineering colleges across India by the National Institutional Ranking Framework, MHRD, Government of India. All the eligible programs have been accredited by NBA, that is 12 undergraduate programs, 10 postgraduate programs. As today's chief guest told, the undergraduate programs, minimum, every program is 2 to 5 times got accredited. And MSRT has been accredited with A grade by NAAC. The institute is a participant of Technical Educational Quality Improvement Program initiated by the Minister of Human Resource Development, Government of India, that is the phase 1 and phase 2. All the departments at the institute are recognized as an R&D centers affiliated to Visvesvaraya Technological University to pursue their PhD and the MS Engineering by research. All the departments have competent faculty with around more than 50% of them having doctorates. All the research centers, that is all the engineering and the basic science department, all the 18 departments are active with the sponsored projects, and around 320 research scholars are pursuing their PhD. The institute has received more than 10 crores of external funding from the various funding agencies since the last 5 years. MSRT has collaborated with more than 60 industries, universities, and institutes across the globe. Boeing International USA has established its Research and Technology Center at our premises. MSRT has established the Center of Excellence on Imaging Solutions in collaboration with Boeing, IG Car, Philips, GE at our institution. The Center for Advanced Materials is also established to cater the advanced research in the areas of nanotechnology and advanced manufacturing. The Center for Advanced Training and Continuing Education and Entrepreneurship Development Cell have been set upon the on our campus. MSRT has a strong placement and training department with a committed team, and the placement is more than 90%. MSRT alumni have distinguished themselves by occupying high positions in India and abroad, and have contacts with the institute through an active alumni association. Coming to the NBA, as today's chief guest told, At present, around 17% of the institutions, the programs have been accredited by NBA across India. Our Honorable Chairman, Professor Anil Sahasrabudhe, AICTE, emphasized the vision of the AICTE is that 100% of the programs are to be accredited by 2022. Keeping this in mind, the AICTE has introduced the Share and Mentor Institutions, that is Margadarshan scheme, in the year 2017. The MSRT has been selected under this scheme for a period of 3 years to mentor 10 technical institutions in and around Bangalore with a financial support. NBA has two-tier system based on types of institutions. The tier 1 is applicable to the engineering technology programs offered by academically autonomous institutions, university, and constituent colleges of the universities. The tier 2 is for non-autonomous institutions, that is mainly the technical institutions which are affiliated to the universities. For both, the same set of 10 criteria have been prescribed for the accreditation. The evaluation for the tier 1 institution focused on program outcomes and program education objectives. And for the tier 2 institution, focus remains as before on student performance, facilities, and technical support and continuous improvement. All these, the 10 criteria for the accreditation of this NBA for the tier 1 and tier 2, as well as the 7 criteria for the NAAC, which are going to be dealt by our resource persons in the coming 5 days. This webinar tries to fill the gap of training needed for the faculty members of various colleges in understanding the NBA and NAAC accreditation process and to work towards achieving accreditation for their institutions. The proposed webinar will focus on outcome-based education model, the NBA accreditation process for tier 1 and tier 2. In addition to this, this program has dedicated 2 full sessions for the NAAC accreditation process by experts from the NAAC, Bangalore. I thank all the resource persons for accepting their invitation to deliver the lectures and sparing their valuable time. I'm very happy for an overwhelming response from the participants. The total number of registrants around 2,000. I wish that all the participants will benefit out of this 5-day faculty development program, which in turn the participant can train their faculty in their respective institutions to get the accreditation by 2022. I congratulate Dr. Madhu, who is the project coordinator and his team for taking the initiative to organize this 5-day faculty development program through the webinar. I wish you all good luck. Thank you.
Unmute చేసిందా?
Sir, thank you very much for your valuable talk, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So now I request Dr. Mrinalini to give propose a vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, our most valued participants, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks on this occasion. At the outset, I, on behalf of the organizing committee and on my own behalf, would like to express my profound gratitude to Professor Dilip N. Malkhade, Advisor 1 AICT, New Delhi, for sparing his valuable time to address the webinar gathering. I would like to express our sense of obligations to Sri B.S. Ramprasad, Chief Executive, GF Engineering and General Sciences, and Sri G. Ramachandra, Chief of Finance, GF Engineering and General Sciences, for their kind guidance for this event. We are extremely grateful to Dr. N.V.R. Naidu, Principal, MS Rama Institute of Technology, for his constant and meticulous guidance, inspiring us to host it to host it successfully and addressing the webinar gathering. We also thank Dr. C.G. Puttappa, Vice Principal, Dr. Archana, Registrar Academic, Sri S. Sumant, Registrar Administration, MSRIT for their support. I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to the magnanimous management Gokula Education Foundation of MSRIT for their constant support and encouragement in organizing this event. We are extremely grateful to AICT, New Delhi, for sanctioning Margadarshan scheme to MSRIT. I take this opportunity to extend our gratitude to the distinguished panel of speakers and distinguished participants. We are extremely obliged to Director NAAC Bangalore for deputing 2 advisors as resource persons to this webinar. I would be failing in my duty if I do not convey my thanks to the Maintenance Department, MSRIT, for all the arrangement made. I take this opportunity to extend our appreciation to the IQAC of MSRIT for all the support and guidance in organizing this webinar. I thank Dr. G.M. Madhu, Program Coordinator, for organizing this webinar. Thank you all once again, and we look forward to an extremely productive 5-day discussion. With this, I request Dr. G.M. Madhu to take over and start the first session of the 5-day Faculty Development Program, NBA and NAAC accreditation process. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session.
I request Dr. G.M. Madhu to take over and start the first session of the 5-day Faculty Development Program, NBA and NAAC accreditation process. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session.
I request Dr. G.M. Madhu to take over and start the first session of the 5-day Faculty Development Program, NBA and NAAC accreditation process. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session.
I request Dr. G.M. Madhu to take over and start the first session of the 5-day Faculty Development Program, NBA and NAAC accreditation process. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session.
And NAAC accreditation process. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session.
And NAAC accreditation process. Thank you one and all.
Thank you very much, madam. So now we will start with the first session. Sir Ranganath sir, thank you very much for attending, sir. So now we will start our first session. Sorry for the small technical problem. I'll start with my presentation. Sorry for the participants. So we'll start with our first presentation, outcome-based education and accreditation. As I told, I'll be dealing with the mission and the PEO's establishment. The major 5 shifts, it is, we are up. Huh? Sorry for the small technical problem. I'll start with my presentation. Sorry for the participants. So we'll start with our first presentation. The major 5 shifts, it is, we are up. Huh? Sorry for the small technical problem. I'll start with my presentation. Sorry for the participants. So we'll start with our You have to make me the presenter. In the Madam, old PPT. Old PPT. Old PPT. Old PPT. What's the old PPT? Yes, ma'am. Okay, we are extremely sorry. Extremely sorry for the technical slack. I'll continue with my presentation. So, before I start with an outcome-based education and accreditation, let us see the 5 major shifts which has taken place over a long period of over 100 years in engineering education. This is actually taken from the IEEE journal and it is an 100th edition. here they have seen that there are the major 5 shifts they have observed. One is the major shift is taking place from the hands of the practical emphasis of engineering science and an analytical emphasis. It means we have started our basic engineering degree initially with a military engineering to supply a labor, a service skilled labor for a military. Later, we have started evolving into it is civil engineering has been evolved. Further, we have evolved into a major engineering education. Later, the engineering is shifted from skill-based engineering program to a mathematical or science-based engineering programs. So we started introducing more of mathematical skills into the engineering program. Okay. So finally, the engineering science, it has become more from the skill-based engineering, it has shifted to a science-based engineering. Further, there is, and later, the part of the major breakthrough in engineering education is implementing an outcome-based education and accreditation. Majority of the Western countries, they finished this outcome shift is this, that is outcome-based education and accreditation is over. In India, we are in the beginning stage of implementing this outcome-based education and accreditation. As we know, only 20% of the programs across our country are being accredited. Later, now the present 3 shifts are going hand in hand. One is the major shift in emphasis to an engineering design. People are talking a lot of introducing an engineering design curriculum into the program. Further, now the shift is taking place from education of learning to social and behavioral sciences. We are introducing a behavioral sciences and engineering program and introducing a lot of that is computation and communication technology in engineering education. We are introducing more into communication, that is computational tools and communication technology is playing a major role in engineering education. And these 3 shifts are going now hand in hand. Okay. When it comes to an accreditation, as in a major accreditation body, ABET says accreditation is, it is just an assurance for the professional services that we have to provide, okay, solid education foundation and capable of leading the way for innovation in emerging technologies. Accreditation has ABET says, NBA is not in a ranking system. Accreditation is not a ranking system. Accreditation assures the minimum quality requirement for a good program. Okay. Now, why this accreditation has become a lot complicated, more into outcome-based education? Because the obvious reason is why no, we need to go for a change in the system because a lot of engineering education is moved towards an outcome-based education, and NBA is a member of Washington Accord, so the only quality conscious keeper of Indian engineering education. Therefore, we need to change and move ahead towards outcome-based education. Now, what are the changes that we have seen from the earlier accreditation process to the present accreditation process? Why we are seeing it as a complicated? The old, our NBA system has a few drawbacks because if you look at our old NBA manual, which is in the year before 2012, our NBA manual never bothered about a teaching learning process. There's nothing called teaching learning process. The only measurement system was the result analysis and infrastructure. And the earlier NBA manual system, we never talked about research culture in engineering education, very less awareness to the quality publication and impact factor, small weightage to patents, publications, and funded projects, and they never bothered about evaluation system, stakeholder involvement, or feedback from the stakeholders. Now, but the new accreditation system, it is purely based on Washington Accord. Every activity is an exact measuring system has been defined. Okay, there's a different now. Earlier, if you look at our old manual, we used to have a same manual for engineering, diploma, post-graduation, everything used to be the same. Now, the present National Board of Accreditation has evolved a different way of measuring systems for diploma, UG, and PG programs. Based on the type of autonomy or the freedom to design their curriculum, institutions have been designed or are divided into Tier 1 and Tier 2 based on the status of autonomy and university affiliation. Now, why this outcome-based education? Outcome-based education is mainly introduced by called as a Washington Accord. Washington Accord is actually an agreement between the bodies responsible for accrediting professional engineering degree of each signatory countries. Initially, Washington Accord started with 16 signatory countries. Okay, the signatory countries are the one which recognizes the countries having to meet academic requirements of practice in engineering. Every institution which meets the quality of engineering education, it will be recognized and made a member of Washington Accord. Okay, Washington Accord covers only professional engineering undergraduate degrees, not a postgraduate degrees nor a diploma. Okay. Now, according to the Washington Accord, it mainly look at the professional competencies of an engineering graduate. The professional engineers are the that is, according to the Washington Accord, professional engineers are capable to perform a minimum functions. They look at their knowledge, skill, and attitude components. We call it as cognitive, affirmative, or psychomotor domain. Okay, that is in terms of Bloom taxon we talk about. The same thing here we are talking about. The professional engineers must be capable of performing the functions of their knowledge, skill, and attitude. The competencies developed are mainly by their education, training, and experience. Okay. What Washington Accord says, as Washington Accord recognizes, the accreditation of an engineering program is a key foundation for the practicing engineer or a professional. Okay. Now, what is this Washington Accord says? According to the Washington Accord, we need to define our graduate attributes. The graduate attributes plays a major, okay, define a graduate attribute. The graduate attributes is, earlier we used to call A to K alphabet. Now there's nothing called graduate attribute. Now we have already defined the program outcomes. The program outcomes have been derived from the graduate attributes. Okay. Every program must have a desire, that is, graduate attributes has to be derived. And once the student project graduates out of that program, okay, which is accredited, it means the assumption is the student meets the standards of engineering education. And the student is exposed to have a same training and experience and same level of practice. It means here it meets the standard professional competency, and the graduate observes the code of conduct and maintains the competency. Okay? So now, what is this use of this Washington Accord? How they make an equivalence? If you look at an equivalence, suppose you have a signatory country A. Let us assume the signatory country A is a USA of ABET. The signatory country B, that is NBA of India. If they establish a substantial equivalence, it means the meaning is the graduate which comes out of a signatory A from a university which is accredited under ABET. If a graduate comes of signatory A and a student graduate from the NBA from India, who is accredited by NBA from India, means they have assumption is they have same level of training and experience and the same level of practice. Okay, so that is so here Washington recognizes a substantial equivalence among the various programs. Now, Washington Accord, there are generally we have two types of status. One is called as a signatory and a provisional status. Under signatory, a body entitled to full participation in the accord. Provisional status is a body that demonstrates as an accreditation or recognition system, okay, which is similar to signatories, but they don't have a voting power, or they cannot take a major decisions in the accord. If you look at the history of a Washington Accord signed in 1989. Accreditation, so the main member of a Washington Accord is ABET, that is Washington Accreditation Board for Engineering and Technology. There are the other signatory members of the Washington Accord is Accreditation Board for Engineering and Korea, ABEC, Canadian Board for Engineering Accreditation, okay, Engineering Council for South Africa, UK, Hong Kong, Australia, Singapore, New Zealand, and Japan. Okay, India has become a signatory member of Washington Accord in 2014. It means earlier we used to always talk about institutes are accredited by NBA. Who will accredit NBA? NBA has been accredited by the Washington Accord. Only if NBA qualifies into the Washington Accord norms, then only it can become a permanent signatory member of a Washington Accord. Okay. So India has, after over a long period of struggle, okay, for a period of 15 years, India, once it has finally become a member of Washington, a signatory of Washington Accord in 2014. It means India is that is a primary quality conscious keeper for engineering. NBA is a quality conscious quality keeper for engineering education. Under provisional accord, there are many countries under the provisional accord. Okay, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Sri Lanka, okay, and European countries. So this is what I want to give about the history of Washington Accord, okay, which we need to understand why this Washington Accord was there and why we need to practice outcome-based education. Now our NBA is now completely it is based on a outcome-based education. So what is the definition which gives out what is the accreditation definition by NBA? NBA, according to the NBA says it is a formal recognition of a quality educational program by an institution by an external independent agency on the basis of impartial assessment and a well-defined criteria. Because therefore, what he says is in US we have an institution, private agencies they do they become a member of ABET and then do the accreditation. But in India, it is only by the government which is through the government NBA is constituted. Only those people are doing an accreditation because therefore it is always says that quality education program only based on the impartial assessment and a well-defined criteria. Why this outcome-based accreditation is significant? As I told in the Washington Accord, how they make an equivalence of various degrees. So at national level, as already morning our chief guest was telling, it is necessary, okay, where the parents can select the institutions, employers can decide the institutions, okay, about deciding the institution for the recruitment. Institution can benefit the regulatory bodies. I think many of us are aware, without an NBA accreditation, major grants, we will not be able to get major grants. Institutions are in deciding about the transfer of students from one institution to accredited institution to one accredited institution to other accreditation institution. At international level, this NBA accreditation helps in the mobility of the students generally to pursue higher studies and employment. When you look at your graduates going for abroad, generally if your student, if he is graduated from an accredited institution, generally it carries a larger chance of getting admission at higher studies. Sometimes we call it as an educational passport. So our accreditation, what are the advantages if you look at? Our accreditation manual mainly says the student must get a quality education and a better employment opportunity. Okay, quality education, better employment opportunity. Students can share the alumni and share their experience because every point in a new OBA system, involvement of stakeholder is very much essential. Okay, therefore, alumni shares their experience and participate in a curricular updates. When your alumni comes and gives you a feedback, it generally helps in bringing into new technology and tools in your curriculum. Okay, faculty can get a benefit for their R&D and their consultancy if your accredited program getting an accredited grants from AICTE or some other agencies, which is easy because once you mainly it looks at only the programs which are accredited programs are only considered generally majority of the cases for giving a grant. And finally, accreditation process is always a brand building. We always talk about any institution. We always proudly say our institution is accredited for 5 years, for 3 years. So it gives a brand building in the society. And this new system of accreditation always talks about continuous improvement quality towards its excellence. And as I told, once if your institution is accredited, okay, so under Washington Accord that I'll discuss further. So it is like an educational passport, getting an mobility to a higher educated countries. As a speaker was discussing morning, joining in Kuwait, minimum requirement is your institute must be an accredited institute. If the student want to join, they look at the accreditation certificate from the institution has to be produced to join jobs there. So therefore, it becomes a mandatory now. So because of the type of attributes we are looking at, the graduates will get a leadership positions. They get and faculty may get invitation for lectures and research guidance. Okay, and industry can hire graduates from the accredited institutions. Okay, majority of the industries are also looking at, they want to hire graduates only from accredited institutions. Now, how the global mobility is assured? Thus, the global mobility is assured, as I discussed you earlier, it is only based on the Washington Accord. If your accrediting agency, if it is a member of Washington Accord, if such agency accredit you and awards an accreditation, you are on par with a Washington Accord institution, accredited institutions across the globe. Therefore, Washington Accord is, first accord was under Washington Accord, UG engineering degree, it gives this is only for a UG engineering degree. There are many accords are there. Sydney Accord is there for engineering diploma and polytechnic programs. Dublin Accord is for engineering and technical programs. Seoul Accord is for a professional engineering and computing and IT related fields. Our NBA is only a member of, say, permanent member or a signatory member of a Washington Accord. So, as I told, our only our undergraduate programs under Washington Accord. If you look at the history of NBA, NBA was set up in the year 1994 as an independent agency, okay, under ACT. From 1994 to 2003, there was no formats change, okay. From 2010, in NBA has become an independent body. Later, the revision started. From 2010 onwards, actually, our NBA was trying, okay, trying for getting a permanent signatory member. So from 2009, there is a major revision started for implementing an outcome-based education. The major step is achieved in the year November 2012 with the format approval. And now after the 2012, the major breakthrough taking place is only in 2014 when NBA became a permanent signatory member of Washington Accord. Later, we have seen a lot of changes every 6 months once we can see a changes. Okay, so these are the major milestones in the NBA accreditation procedures. Now, before I go into an outcome-based education and accreditation, I want to give about the compliance status, because as in our institution, we look at because before you fill up an accreditation manual, procedure manual, or we call it as SCR report, we need to have a compliance status. Please, every institution must look at these are the minimum requirements for any institution to become eligible, okay, to go for an accreditation. So as I told, we have a two type of institutions, so tier 1 and tier 2. If you look at the new manual system, only tier 1 is under Washington Accord, tier 2 is not under Washington Accord. Okay, so now tier 2, because for tier 1 and tier 2, we have a different criteria for making an compliance report. So minimum intake, you must have 50% in the 3 academic years for the institution as a whole institution. You must have 60% average intake for all the 3 academic years for the institution if it is under tier 1. Now, if for a program, if you look at, you must have a 50% average for 3 academic years for any program if you want to apply for accreditation. For tier 1, it is 60% average in a 3 academic years. Faculty student ratio, as NBA specifies, it is 1:25. It's a minimum requirement, but you don't get any much marks here. For a faculty cadre ratio, at least if you look at, and for a tier 2 institution, you must have 1 professor or 1 associate professor for an intake of 60 in a consecutive previous academic year, current and previous academic year. For 3 years, they take a data. And for a tier 1 institution, at least you must have 2 professors or 1 professor and 1 associate professor on a regular scale with a PhD. Okay, and faculty with PhD, number of PhD, the department must be greater than or equal to. For tier 2, you must have minimum 10% of the required faculty must be with a PhD. For tier 1, it must be 20% of the required faculty must be with a PhD. And other requirement is for both for tier 1 and tier 2, minimum you must have a 2 batches would have passed out from the institution. If the 2 batches, once they leave the institute program, then only you can apply for such programs for accreditation. For tier 1, HOD is compulsory, you must possess a PhD degree. There are desirable parameters. I think if you have, this is a minimum parameters. More than this, if you have, that is a desirable parameter, which I don't discuss in much. And for a tier 1 institution, as well as tier 2, they look at the program assessment committee or a quality improvement committee, the constitution is mandate. And you must have a maintenance of laboratory and computer facilities, and you must have a recurring funds for upgradation of laboratory and computing facilities. Without having this minimum criteria, let us not look at any outcome-based education. This is the minimum requirements to go for an outcome-based education. For a management program, we have a different set of criteria because there you have to 3 batches has to be passed out. Admission should be minimum 60%. Faculty cadre ratio must be 1:25. Okay, and the placement ratio should be, they are looking at 60% average placement. Okay, for over 3 years. And you must have 2 or 1 professor, or a minimum 1 professor and 2 associate professors in the department for an intake of 60. Okay, because it is a PG program. That is a minimum requirement. Without that, let us not look at applying for an NBA accreditation or implementing an outcome-based education, because it's very difficult. You need a robust collection of data and evaluation. Now, why outcome-based education? In outcome, why we need to go for look into this system rather than the old system? Accountability towards students. Because this new NBA manual looks at fulfilling the requirements of curriculum. You need to look at the curriculum because it looks at the curriculum structure, what you have, okay? Whether what is the percentage of basic science, applied science, program core, elective. Look at it. Here we are looking at the whole program curriculum structure and its minimum requirements. Satisfying the needs of industry, because as we know, we have producing a lot of unemployed graduates. We can have those graduates who cannot apply the knowledge what they learned in the curriculum. Maintaining the academic standards of the accredited program. Okay. Accountability to a grant providing organization, mainly for stakeholders. Okay. The stakeholders are involvement at every stage in this process is very important. And finally, if you comply all this, we can go for accreditation mainly based on outcome-based education. Now, we can say about all this, but what are the major issues in teaching learning? The major issues in teaching learning we are looking at is a qualification and a quantity. Qualification means the type of ranking students which you are entering into the program. Okay. Day by day, engineering education is diminishing. We must look at the sustainability of our programs. Okay. To have a sustainability, but the qualification means the rank what the students are entering. You are getting within 1,000 rank or 10,000 rank or 20,000 rank or 40,000 rank. The rank intake quality matters a lot. Quantity, your some intakes are 60, some institutions have got 4 to 50. So different intakes are there. More the quantity, difficult to have a better control over the system. Staff, qualification and competency. Here we look at the qualification. Qualification in terms of BE, MTech, PhD, either UG, PG degree or PhD degree or specialization, etc. Competency. Suppose if I have a mechanical engineering department, if I appoint only the faculty from mechanical engineering, okay, from the mechanical engineering only from design background, then your whole program is oriented towards design. Therefore, you need to have a faculty with a different domains of competency, such as design, manufacturing, management, thermal. Okay, there are different streams are there in the mechanical engineering. Same way it is there in the computer science. So you must have a mix of faculty, okay, in the system, so that NBA looks at what are the different specialization of the faculty are there in their PG, PhD as well as in their research. So this will help them to have a better improvement in the curriculum and then having a good teaching learning process and in a projects. If you look at teaching process, according to this outcome-based education, will have a most transparent type of teaching system and a control process, because at every stage you need to show a documentation. So more transparency will come into the process system. assessment, it is not based on the results. Assessment is purely based on the outcomes. The courses, if you look at the courses, courses are mainly, it keeps updating because every um, year we go for a curriculum revision. Okay, so the course will get updated and it becomes more relevant to the industry. And facilities, because of accreditation, no institution can reduce the faculty level, okay, down, because based on the minimum requirement, you will have a facilities either in terms of a faculty, resources, everything. At least may not be to the higher extent, there will be sufficient and up to date. Now, then what is the outcome-based education? The outcome-based education, the whole nutshell of our OBE is, it is not that what we teach, it is what the student learn. We are not, as a teacher, we are not bothered about what we are going to teach. Finally, what we say is what the student learn. In a nutshell, a learner-centric approach for a tertiary education. Now, what are the deficiencies of the traditional education? In the traditional education, we given a little or small attention, okay, to whether or not students learn the material. Students are given grades, rankings compared to exam-oriented, generally either a CGPA-driven system. Graduates are not completely prepared as a workforce. And our graduates lack interpersonal skills, communication skills, okay, or analytical skills or working attitudes. These are the things which are not being addressed in our earlier accreditation process or manuals. Now everything has been included in our new manual. Our new manual says only based on the outcomes. It looks at the knowledge, okay, skill and attitude components in an equal level, and then assess the program. So as I told, we have an input and output model. In an input and output model, if you look at any accreditation earlier manuals, or if you look at our NAAC manual, most of the things, they look at only in terms of a documentation, financial resources, lab equipment, infrastructure, faculty, number of students. Okay, and there might be some more things other, but whereas, and they consider these as the input and they measure the output. They measure the output is only the graduating students, quantity of the students graduated, success rate of the student. So earlier accreditation manual, they used to look at the input and they used to look at the output. In between, the whole process was missing in our earlier accreditation manual. The process plays a major role. Without a process, without an effective process, you cannot have a good product. Okay. So the new outcome-based education process manual, the OBE SCR, outcome-based education, we look at an effective process, okay, or an effective program. Okay. So because of this improvements, our OBE, you get a quality education, okay. You get emerging use of emerging tools and technologies getting completely regularly updated in your program, exchange of views, brand build up, and continuously we work towards excellence. It's the same slide which was shown earlier. I'll put it again to explain the OBE process, because in between the input and output, the process was missing. Now the process has got a more weightage in the new manual. Now, what are the benefits of OBE? Focus and benefits of OBE. On outcome-based education, if I implement in the institution, what we mainly look at? What are the key questions? We want the student to have are able to do. Okay, more than the grade, we expect what the student can do or able to do. Okay, either in outcome-based education, out of the one class, or if I teach one hour of mathematics, at the end of 1 hour, okay, if I am teaching an integration or a differentiation, if I teach after the end of the 1 hour, so today I taught first order differential equation. The end of the class, the outcome is whether my student can able to solve a first order differential equation, which I given. That is your output. If they are able to solve your first order differential equation or to solve the first order differential equation, it means that your outcome is attained. Okay, attained. So how to solve the first order differential equation, or to solve this, how best we can help the student to achieve it? What are the different methods I can able to achieve it? Or what are the new teaching methodologies or the process which I need to adopt where the student can able to apply the concepts learned. Okay. Now, once you give all the process, second one is how do we know whether the students have achieved it? Whether once what are the facilities or the support system you give, and finally I need to able to measure it. So I need to have a better assessment procedures in the system. So we need to go for a measurement of the assessment process, and the assessment process must be a robust. Once you measure the output, finally again I need to close the loop with a feedback. The feedback, closing the loop, we call it as a continuous quality improvement. Okay. Now, if I implement this outcome-based education, no matter the benefits of OB, if you want to address all this, then your program becomes more directed and will have a coherent curriculum. Graduates will be more relevant to industry other than and stakeholders, because they'll be industry ready, okay, and you will have there's no need for an extra training or a coaching if you properly implement this, okay, and finally you will have a continuous quality improvement in place. You will be continuously working towards an excellence. Now, OBA addresses mainly the following questions. First, who are our stakeholders? See, initially, as an old, as a 10 or 15 years back, when we look at our institution, we never used to bother about the stakeholders, because the students used to come, we used to teach, and they pass out. We never used to talk about who are our stakeholders, for whom we are producing these graduates. Whether we never bothered about to take the feedback from the graduates, whether they really learned it or not. Okay, who are our stakeholders? We never, the stakeholders are our alumni, alumni, employer, parents, government, or whoever the place where you are sending the graduates. And we never bothered about to take the feedback of our alumni. So we never told that, are you confident? Are you able to apply the concept what we taught over a period of 4 years? Okay. Does our stakeholders understand our object? We never looked at it. Therefore, in the outcome-based education, feedback from stakeholders at every time to time is very much necessary. Okay, what services do we provide to the stakeholders? Because when you take the feedback from them, finally we need to give what services do we need to provide our stakeholders, and do our stakeholders understand our objectives? Did you state an objective? Because what is an objective? We say whenever you want to, okay, stated objectives, this they know the objective. I'll discuss what is an objective later. What services, facilities, and policies must be present? Because if they want to address all this, you need to provide some services, facilities, and policies. Finally, how do we measure our results? We need to keep measuring results, and how are you continuously improving our quality? Okay, and we always look at take the data and measure whether we have achieved our objectives and improving. And finally, we call it as a concept that is stakeholder satisfaction survey is very much essential. Okay, and finally, we need to look at whether our stakeholders are satisfied. Okay, what are the expectations of OB? Finally, we can talk so much about OB. What we are expecting, what is OB is expecting from a graduate? The outcome based, if you look at an outcome based education, the main objective is students. So in this year, what it says is students are expected to do more challenging tasks other than memorize and reproduce. We don't want to just mug up and reproduce the concepts what we have taught. What he says in the OB, it says is students should be able to write project. Okay, write a project proposal, complete a project, analyze a case study, and give a case presentation. It means final year we complete one project, okay, for a period of 6 months or 8 months. What we expect in that is student should be able to apply the concept which he has learned over a period of 4 years. He must be able to work as a team. Finally, he has to identify the problem, solve the problem, okay, solve the problem. To solving the problem, you must write a proposal, okay, complete the project, take the results, do the analysis, and give a case presentation. So, and show their abilities to think, question, research, make a decision on findings. If the student can able to do that, he is a better engineer rather than looking at your grades. Okay? Finally, outcome-based education only look at the people who can solve the real world problem. Okay, where you can identify a problem, solve the problem. Okay, may bring a solution, solve the problem. Okay, and market it. So we expect the student to be more creative and able to analyze and synthesize information. Finally, every graduate must be able to work as a team, as a community, or in the entrepreneurial services. Okay? And as an entrepreneurial service team, to propose a solution to the problem and market the solution. If you can able to student can able to do this, then you are successful in implementing outcome-based education. If you look at our NBA visit, whole half a day is only for a project. The project only we look at all these things. How they have written the project proposal, how they have done the literature survey, what is our experimentation, what is the case study, what their final conclusion. This will give a more weightage. Okay, therefore, this is what the outcome-based education expects. To implement the outcome-based education, generally we have 4 steps. First one is OBE, that is outcome-based education. What the student should be able to do. To outcome-based education, first you need to set your objectives, okay? Vision, mission, and objectives. That is your what you want objectives, and then you write your outcomes. That's what you are expected to do. Okay? For that, you need to design a curriculum. To attain those outcomes, whatever the program outcomes you are stating, to attain those outcomes, you need to define your curriculum. Okay, and that should be, now we have a different models of curriculum that is called as, we have a important, very well-defined model for design of a curriculum is a CDIO model that we have in the afternoon session. That is very much necessary, okay, for outcome-based education. OBE, that is divine. How do you bring a curriculum, good curriculum for outcome-based education? Once you make a curriculum, okay, you need to measure it. We need to measure it. That is, whether how do we make the student to achieve it? Okay, we need to do a teaching learning process. We need to have a good teaching learning process, okay, to achieve whatever the curriculum you have stated. Finally, once you teach and then the process is complete, you need to have an assessment. And we need to know how to measure what the students have achieved, okay, over the 4 years of the program. Now, based on this outcome, basically, we need to learn, okay, a learning outcome. Using the learning outcome statement, we need to explicitly that what students are expected to do, are able to know or understand to do. Okay, and we need to provide a learning activities which help the student to reach outcomes. Learning activity, okay, throughout this 4 years of curriculum. And finally, you need to do an assessment to the extent to which the student meets the outcome. What is the attainment of this? Okay, what is CO attainment or PO attainment, which I should be able to measure. Okay. Now, for to implementation of OBE curriculum, OBE program, we need to have this following minimum this following steps. We need to have an effective program educational objectives, effective program outcomes, assessment tools, effective assessment planning, a robust evaluation planning. Okay, once finally, you need to have a continuous quality improvement in place. Okay, so first, these are the minimum steps, 6 steps which is required. Now we will see one by one what is. Okay, and finally, for all this, you need to design an OBE curriculum, or that we will discuss in. Okay, now the main character. Program educational objective. This is generally a question we ask, and many of our SAR documents, we look at what we do is we copy from some institution and then write. And we can say that every institution will have the same mark. No, that's not correct. As an institution, suppose if I am in a mechanical engineering or a computer science engineering department, you need to tell it what your graduates will be able to do after 3 to 5 years of their graduation. Okay, 3 to 5 years of their graduation, where you want to see your graduate after 3 to 5 years of their graduation is called as a program educational objectives, or we call it as a program objectives. Now, what are this? Where you want to see 3 to 5 years? That is, whether you want to see your students working in research, in industries, or in manufacturing, okay, in marketing, or in higher studies, whatever the thing where you look at. So, based on your previous data, take the collected data and look at the market needs. Based on that, you need to write a program educational objectives. Okay. Whenever you're writing an objective, you must take the feedback from all the stakeholders. Then you need to have effective program outcomes. Okay, program outcomes are one. What your student can able to do at the end of the graduation is called as a program outcome. When I write outcome, my student can able to do and so and so. Okay, at the end of the program, that is your program outcome. At the end of the program, your student must be able to must do the program outcomes stated by you. Okay? All the OBE curriculum are OBE curriculum mainly based on the three concepts of the program outcome, mainly based on three concepts, that is knowledge, skill, and attitude component. Okay. Now, and whole our program outcomes, if you classify, there is A to L outcomes are there. They're all classified into knowledge, skill, and attitude component. We call it as knowledge, okay, affirmative and psychomotor domain, and Bloom taxonomy. The same thing. It is same. Its concepts are there. Here we call it as knowledge, skill, and attitude component. Now, if you look at our OBE flow chart, this is a standard OBE flow chart, okay, which is given by NB. Now, here, before I go into this, we need to have a clear-cut idea of what is this flow chart. Every institute must have a vision and mission. What is a vision mission? Institute vision mission. Institute can have a n number of programs. I have a computer science, mechanical, civil, okay, instrumentation. So many departments I have. Come and you will be having a UG program, PG program, PhD program. Looking at the whole, taking the feedback, you must design a vision where you want to see your institution over a period of 10 years or 20 years. That is called as a vision mission. Vision. The way to achieve a vision is called as a mission. So institute will have a vision mission. Okay. In the same way, department has to have its own vision and mission. So in the department, you might have a number of more than two undergraduate also. You can have a postgraduate. You can have a PhD program. Combining UG, PG, and PhD under the department, you must write a vision and mission. Vision and mission is for the department and institution, not for a program. Okay? So every institution and a department must have its vision and mission, and the department vision must be in line with the vision and mission of the institution. To achieve the vision and mission, you must derive a program educational objectives. For every program, suppose you have a PG program, you must have a different objectives. UG program must have a different objectives. Under, suppose in your mechanical department, if I have a two UG program, one is manufacturing, that is manufacturing engineering, other one is a mechanical engineering. UG, if I have, two programs must have a different educational objectives. Okay. Now, these objectives should be the one which what you see, you want to see the graduate after 3 to 5 years of their program. Okay. Now, for each program, you need to write a program outcome. So the program outcomes is already given by NBA now. So we need not write for program outcomes. Okay. So the same program outcomes can be given. We need to write 2 or 3 program specific outcomes that I'll see in detail. Now, to achieve this program outcome, the base is the courses. The courses are nothing but I have a courses around 50 to some 50 to sorry, now we have for 4 years we have around 52 courses including laboratory. If you are taking 6 at every semester, 8 semester, around 48 courses. Okay, you have a project, seminar, so many things. Around 50 courses if you take, the whole basis are the courses. Now, for whole outcome-based education, you designing your courses, a proper mix of courses will play a major role in your effective implementation of outcome-based education. As I told, designing of a courses, writing a proper curriculum is a very good implementation of outcome-based education. Okay. To achieve all this, finally, you need to have the proper foundation, proper courses has to be defined. So design is from the top to bottom and achievement is from bottom to top. Always the measurement takes place from bottom to top. Now, writing a vision. What is a vision? So I request the participant to bear for another half an hour so that there is a delay in the presentation. So what is the vision statement? Vision statement is the one what you want to see your institution or a department over a period of 10 years. Now let us look at a simple vision statement. A vision statement is to create a high quality engineering professionals. So what do you mean by high quality? Nobody knows what is a high quality. High quality is one standard. How do you produce high quality? The high quality can be produced by offering a well-balanced program of instruction, practical experience, and personality, offering overall personality development. If I offer all these things, the graduates what you produce will have a high quality. The graduates produced are a high quality engineering professionals. Okay, so it means there is a one exact link between vision to a mission. Okay, so vision statement, as I told, what do you want to become over a period of a period of 5 to 10 years. Now, what are the main things which are required in a vision statement? I don't read out all that. The vision statement should be inspirational. If I look at our vision statement, it should inspire us. Okay, and it should always remember. We should remember the vision statement. If you write a vision statement in a paragraph, nobody remembers. Okay? It must be more challenging. Yes. And whenever you look at your vision, yes, I should be able to achieve it. Okay. I should have a challenge. It should create an instant challenge in your mind. It must be achievable, collective, preferred. Okay. And this must be collective statement. Okay. It must be in line with the vision, vision of the, okay. It must be a preferred statement. And whatever the statement you write for a vision statement, it must be clearly, easily understandable, simple English. You need to write your vision statement. Now, let us look at the simple few vision statements which I thought I can share with you. There are super and very good statements you look at. If you take a Nike, okay, they have taken a few examples: Nike, Amazon, Ford, and Microsoft. Okay, so if you look at a Nike, to bring an inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world, it means if you have a body, you must be an athlete. What the AI says is, if you are a human being, you need to wear a Nike shoe. Okay? Then, as you know, what is the brand of Nike? Now look at an Amazon vision. This is the earlier vision. Now it has changed. The vision has been changed. In Amazon has a vision to be an Earth's most customer-centric company, to build a place where people can come to find and discover anything that they might want to buy online. Amazon has achieved it. In Amazon, anything you can buy, okay, online. So now it has changed its vision. It has become more customer service. Now Amazon vision is to serve the customers or the consumer through online and physical stores and focus on selection, price, and convenience. Okay, it has improved over the selection, price, and convenience now. And if you look at Microsoft, looks very amazing. If a computer in every desk and in every home, okay. If you have a computer, you must have a Microsoft. Okay, so that is their vision. They achieved the vision. Microsoft vision has been already achieved. Now the vision of the Microsoft is to empower every person and every organization on the planet to achieve more. It means these are the statements are looks to be very simple, precise, crystal clear. Okay, where you can remember everything. Suppose look at a Microsoft, a computer in every desk and every home. It means if you have a computer, you must have a Microsoft. That was the vision. Okay, with that vision, the company has started. They achieved that vision. Okay. Mission statements. Whenever I write a mission statements are the statements which are the ways to achieve the vision. One are this nothing but facilities or the support system. What you want to provide to achieve the vision is called as a mission statement. Okay, it is also called as a purpose of statement, purpose of belief, purpose of philosophy. Okay, statement of philosophy and statement of education principles. Okay. So look at our example I given, vision statement. This is a MIT vision statement. MIT is the vision mission statement. Sorry, this is the vision statement. The vision statement, they have written a mission to achieve a good knowledge and educated students in science and technology, and the areas of scholarship that will best serve the nation and the world in the 21st century. So they have written a mission statement. MIT is committed to generate and decimate preserving a knowledge, combines a rigorous. So look, I cannot read all the statements. The important statement is it combines a rigorous academic study and excitement of discovery. Okay, MIT community ability and the passion to work wisely, creatively, effectively for the betterment of human mankind. Okay, if you look at here, one is a knowledge, other one is a. If you look at here, first one is for the knowledge, second one is for an for a skill, third one is for an attitude. Finally, we need to look at for the betterment of mankind. So any mission statement must include three components, that is knowledge, skill, and attitude component, which is necessary for any vision to achieve. Okay. So as I told, vision statements, the NDA statement says it is 2 to 3 statement. There are many institutes which are with one statement. Okay. So this is one example which I have put for an IIT Mumbai, where you can write one vision statement also in a single statement. Okay. But not exactly, nobody we can tell that this is the correct vision statement, because vision statement is the one that what you write. Nobody can say that this is correct and this is wrong. This is one of the important statements which I found to be very happy to show. This is our Infosys vision. As we all know, Infosys is a service-based company. Their vision is to help our clients to meet their goals through our people and service and solution. Their mission is only to meet the goals of through our people, service and solutions. Because the client, they want to serve the clients better. Now, how they serve the clients, that is a mission. How they help the clients, that is a mission. By providing people service and solutions, understanding the needs of the requirement, providing cost-effective solution to deliver a value-added service, and follow up a quality of service, work with them to improve the business. These are the ways that they are able to achieve the vision, because these are the ways they could be able to help their clients to meet their goals. So this is very crystal clear, precise way of writing a vision and mission, where you can have an exact relation between vision to a mission. Okay. Then we want to write a program educational objectives. The program educational objectives are the one which the student, this is, as I told, vision and mission. You can now, I have put for some institutions, same way, a department has to develop its vision and vision. Clear that where you want to see the department over a period of 5 to 10 years, over a long period of time. Don't write over a period of 30 years, because nobody knows what it happens. Because if you look at our change in the IT technology changes over a period of 3 years, the whole technology is changing. The government of technology is changing. We don't know what from future it is coming. So we cannot have a long-term planning now. Everything is truly dynamic. So we must have a vision statement also over a period of 5 to 10 years, not more than that. Now, for a program objectives, now when I write, now now I am dripping down to the program. The program is a one, okay, which is BE mechanical engineering, UG mechanical engineering, or UG computer science, UG information science is a program. For a program, you need to write objectives. What are the objectives? Objectives are nothing but why did we start this program, or why did we start this program, and what do you want the graduates, once they pass out, what they will be able to do is the objective. Because I started mechanical engineering program to produce a graduate who can serve better in research, who can serve better in industry, okay, production field, who can serve better in the management, who can serve better in the different areas of the system. So wherever you are aiming and planning to do, that you need to clearly, precisely, you need to write it. Okay, where you want to see a graduate after 3 to 5 years of graduation, we call it as a program educational objectives, or we call it as a program objectives. Whenever you write an objectives, it must be in constitution with the institute mission. There must be a linkage between mission. Objectives must be in line with the mission statements. Okay? And whenever you write an objective, take the feedback from the stakeholders. Every stakeholder has to be involved, okay, then while writing an objectives. If you look at this program now, the manual, to write a vision, mission, and program educational objectives, you must take a data from the stakeholders. NB has mentioned so many stakeholders, like professional body, industry, alumni, management, foreign faculty. If you look at professional bodies in India, don't have a much contribution towards an education development. But whereas in US, you have many professional bodies. If you just go to the website of ABET and look at ASME, American Society for Mechanical Engineers, American Society for Civil Engineers, are so many things. Many are there. They clearly, precisely tell you over 3 years period, they will give you statistics and they tell you where your graduates are moving over a period of time. Okay. For 3 years, then we can clearly precise what change. Okay. They clearly will tell you where the graduates are moving. Based on that, you can define your objective. That's what. Whenever you are selecting this, your stakeholders, please be precise. Okay. Wherever you can be able to get a feedback, take only such stakeholders and then write. Okay. Then the articulate your vision, mission, and program educational objectives. Okay. Whatever listed, don't make it as a stakeholders, and then many people write in the manual. They will write so many stakeholders. If you look for a data, they will not would have taken any feedback. You write only the stakeholders where you can really get a feedback from such stakeholders. Okay. Now, while writing in a PEO, this is given in the manual of NBA. PEO should, whenever you write, there must be in constituent with the mission. PEO should be manageable in number, and they must be achievable, and they must be clearly specific to the programs. And while writing the PEOs, they must take based on the needs of the stakeholders. Okay, you must take the feedback based on their needs of the stakeholders. You need to write your program educational objectives. Okay. So as I told, again, the objectives when you write cognitive, affective, or behavioral objectives, we again based on knowledge, skill, and attitude component, we can articulate our objectives. Okay. Again, given for MIT mechanical engineering, I given a few objectives for a undergrad B mechanical for a mechanical engineering undergraduate program. Okay. So what the graduates will be able to do after the 3 to 5 years of graduation, they'll be able now, according to the MIT, what they say, their objective is the students will be able to apply deep working knowledge of technical fundamentals in the area of mechanical engineering, develop innovative technologies, and find solutions. Okay, they can communicate effectively as a member and multidisciplinary teams. They can be sensitive to a profession and social context. Okay. They lead in conception, design, and implementation of a new product, process, service, and systems. If you look at here, first component covers a knowledge. Okay. Second component covers an attitude and knowledge. Third one is purely to the skills. Okay. Okay. And that is the communicative. There is communication skills. They can again multidisciplinary teams. So everything is combined. So therefore, whenever you write, it must have a 3 component, that is knowledge, skill, and attitude component must be covered whenever you write your objectives, program educational objectives. Okay. This is for MBA. MBA as such, the guidelines are not given because MBA we have the postgraduate program. So many people can write in a different way. For an MBA program, you can write objectives can be written based on thinking skills, communication skills, leadership skills, and specialized knowledge. So you can look at the various objectives. Also based on these things, you can write an objectives, which is an example I've taken. Okay, this is for my department, which because of the less time schedule, I'm just moving on. Whenever you take a vision, mission, and education objective statements, you must have a mapping because the mission statement, the educational objectives must be in line with the mission of the department, vision and mission of the department. Whenever you write, if your mission, you must have a program education objectives, and you must write a 3-to-1 mapping should be there. So 3 represents high conformity, medium conformity, and low conformity. And the marking of 3-to-1 is purely based on the collective decision, okay, understanding of the PEOs and mission statement. Only you can map this data, okay, mapping. For every mapping, you must provide a justification. Why did you map 3-to-1? And based on the justification, you can have a mapping of program with this mission statement to your program educational objectives. Okay. Now, any objectives you write, it must be in consultation with the system. Okay. Now, here, program outcomes we have written. Earlier, we used to have a to K outcomes. Now, later, NB has added one more. Okay. NB, these are the graduate attribute it has taken from ABET, and one more has been added by NB earlier, that is called project management and finance. This was actually the graduate attributes defined by NBA. Till 4 years back, 3 years back, we used to write a statements for each graduate attributes in the form of a program outcome. Later, NBA has come out with a program outcomes, and clear cut it has written program outcomes. Okay, and for that, earlier we used to have a guidelines how to write a program outcomes, but now NB has come out with the program outcomes. It has clearly specified the program outcome. Okay. Now earlier we used to have A to K, now it is A to L. That is including project management finance. So project outcomes has been, it is almost same for all the, it is same for all the engineering programs. Okay. So we have engineering knowledge. Okay, problem analysis. Earlier, we used to take this graduate attribute and then expand, okay, based on our program needs. But now, because the program outcomes are already given, you can take the same program outcomes. Okay, so the program one is based on engineering knowledge, problem analysis, design development of solutions, investigation of problems, modern tool usage, engineering and society, environment and sustainability, ethics, individual and teamwork, communication, lifelong learning, project management. Okay, this we have seen. Now, let us look at this statement once again. Now, the same graduate attributes has been expanded in the form of statement and given as the program outcomes. If you look at this here, first 3 is for a knowledge domain. Okay, or first 4 is for a knowledge domain. The next 3, modern tool usage, communication. Okay, these generally comes in terms of a skill training. If you look at engineering society, environment, ethics, and lifelong learning, which comes under attitude component. Okay, now project management is also comes under skill and knowledge training. Okay, skill and knowledge. So when you look at this whole graduate attributes, there can be classified into 3. That is cognitive, affirmative, and psychomotor domain, or in other words, we call this knowledge, okay, attitude, and skill. Based on the 3 components, the whole graduate attributes has been derived. These graduate attributes have been, okay, shown in the form of statements now. But this is for NBA. If you look at ABET now, ABET has, because of the 12 graduate attributes or program outcomes, they've reduced into 7 now. If you look at ABET manual now, they have only 7 outcomes. But these 7 outcomes combines, there is so many other graduate attributes. Because the reason is, some of the graduate attributes, mainly in attitude components, are difficult to measure. So therefore, they have clubbed so many of these statements and made it into only 7 outcomes. Okay? So that is, I think in future, we can see the same thing in our NBA also. Now the NBA has come out with 2 more outcomes, 2 to 4 outcomes extra, that is they are called as program specific outcomes. Clear cut, we need to specify the program specific outcome. This is very much important. Whereas this will not have a major impact for an academic, for autonomous institutions, but it is very much necessary for an affiliated institution. The 2 to 4 program outcomes are, it is clearly specific to the domain. Okay. Now I'll show you some of the example how to write a PSO. Whenever you write a program specific outcome, it must be related to the domain of engineering. Suppose if I take mechanical engineering, I can write a program specific outcome one for design, one for thermal, one for management, one for some other things of the domain expert. I can write a PSO, either 2 to 4 PSO. Combine 2 to 3 domains in one and then write a PSO. That is one. This is generally for an autonomous institution, they do it. For an affiliated institutions, always in our SCR manual, we always look at what other extra other than VTU curriculum you are teaching. Okay. Especially you must have add-on courses. Okay. Over a period of 4 years, at least the student must have some level of add-on courses, especially in a skill training. Suppose if I take mechanical engineering, they learn solid edge. But the solid edge is not useful for a 3D printing. You need to learn AutoCAD. If you don't teach AutoCAD in the program, so then the student cannot do in a 3D printing. So if you teach AutoCAD as one additional course, that becomes a program specific outcome because that is special what you are giving to the program. Okay, same way, if I add some more, introduce some more softwares into the training core curriculum, that becomes an add-on course. So based on the add-on courses, combining the add-on courses, you can write your program specific outcome. Whatever the add-on courses you make, for that you must define a curriculum, very correct curriculum, teaching learning methodology. I must have assessed outcomes. And these outcomes also has to be shown in your SAR. So then it becomes program specific outcome. It means these are the outcomes which nobody has attained other than your institution, okay, which are affiliated to the VTU. There is no other institution can achieve this outcome, okay, either you are in VTU or some other institution. Therefore, writing a PSO is a bit complicated. I will show you two PSO, different way of writing. If you look at PSO, okay, for computer, sorry, I made a small mistake here. Instead of say mechanical engineering, I should put the civil engineering is there. Okay. If you look at here, for a computer science, first statement includes everything. So again, it is based on knowledge, skill, and attitude component they have written. Okay. Whereas civil mechanical engineering, they were written one for design, one for analyze energy and thermal designs, one for design, analyze, optimize creativity. Okay, of design, okay, design, analyze, optimize, and realize mechanical process system dynamics to meet competitiveness. Because based on one is for design, one is for an thermal, and other one is for a manufacturing. So that's it. As I told you, it is very bit difficult and complicated to say precisely how to write exact PSO. I think earlier the speakers which are coming tomorrow and day after tomorrow, they will be able to tell you more precisely about the writing a PSO. Okay. So there are different way of people are adapting a different way of writing a PSO. In my view, it is for an affiliated institution, write a PSOs based on the add-on courses which you are going to offer over a period of 4 years. For an autonomous institution or an universities, it is better to write on the specific specialization like design, okay, thermal, and then a manufacturing. For a mechanical, like the same way we can write for a specialization in your curriculum. Okay. And these generally we call it as a learning outcomes. The learning outcomes, now based on the program outcomes, now we need to look at the learning. There are learning outcomes are called as not only program outcomes, they are called as course outcome, module outcome. There are different ways of outcome people be specific. Whenever I learn or write an outcome, the outcome should be specific and a measurable statement, okay, that what graduating or existing student should know or able to do or believe or value the completing the program. Suppose if I learn a learning outcome, I can write a learning outcome as a course outcome, program outcome, or so many other things. What is a course outcome if I write? Okay. Suppose if I teach first order differential equation mathematics, okay, first 1 hour. At the end of the class, I should be see that student should be able to solve first order differential equation. If I write a statement as student will understand the first order differential equation as my statement, okay. Understanding cannot be measured. It is not a measurement of outcome. Nobody can measure an outcome. Student can solve the first order differential means solve is one of the action verb which you are going to use. Okay, the action verb will tell you. So you can exactly measure the action verb by giving some problems, whether they are able to solve it. If they can able to solve it, that is called action verb. So that is a measurable statement. So what it says, learning outcomes is, learning outcomes should always specify the observable behaviors whenever possible. It is focused on the results of students' learning, not the learning process. Okay? It is derived from the program mission statement. Okay? These learning outcomes can be defined institutional, department, program, course, lesson. You can have a variety of learning outcomes. Mainly in NBA, we are looking only at course outcome and a program outcome, not for a class or session outcome. These are all, okay, that you can do in a further dissection and then do all these outcomes. Okay, these are the possible. Okay, there are a variety of outcomes. That's why I listed few. Now, to understand these outcomes, we need to have a better analogy. What is a course outcome and a program outcome? You can see in two pictures here I put. Okay, one is called as a vegetable, the other one is not. Why? If you look at this, I have a variety of vegetables. You have a tomato, carrot, okay, brinjal, garlic, so many other things. Whereas salad is only few. Why this is called? This is okay. Salad course out. These are the, we call it as a vegetable, and these are called as a salad. Now, whenever I want to make a program outcome, the program outcomes are generally derived from the course outcomes. What are the course outcomes? The course outcomes are derived from the courses. Okay. Generally, whenever you take the courses, you suppose if you look at NPTEL for a computer science, you might have more than 150 courses or 110, 120, 130 courses. If you look at for my chemical engineering, we have more than 98 courses are there listed in NPTEL. Is it possible for me to introduce all 98 courses into the curriculum? No. If I introduce all 98 courses into the curriculum, it looks like a vegetable. Okay. If you want to make it as a salad, if I want to make it a perfect engineering program, I want to introduce only pick up which are the items are required for an effective program. Okay. I need only, okay, tomato, carrot, and some of the things which these ingredients make a perfect salad. So choosing a better courses, okay, or better course outcomes, and then making this course outcome club together to make a better program outcome. Suppose these ingredients, as I told, these ingredients, the degree of preparation and ingredients mix, okay, okay, and their integration makes only an image that is called as a salad. Okay, the only the few ingredients contribute to the salad, but salad is more than the sum of its parts. Okay, program outcome is not a single statement. It is a mixture of so many courses which you are going to teach from first year to final year. Okay? It's a mix of so many courses. Okay, so selecting a good courses and making a proper curriculum makes you to have a very good program outcome. If your selection of your courses are wrong, then your program outcome will go drastically okay, wrong, because you have selected, suppose if you select a brinjal in a salad, then the salad will go as a one salad or one garlic, and if you put it in a salad, then it will spoil the whole salad. Okay, so the quantity, the mixture of salad will change. Same way, if I have 52 courses, the 52 courses must have a proper alignment with one to other to make a very good, okay, salad. Okay, so what now from the analogy, what I say is course outcomes identify the ingredient that make up the program. It means it's an incremental knowledge and skills the student develop bit by bit through the program. Okay, student join the first year, learns basic sciences, engineering sciences. Okay, a program core, program elective, you have a open elective. So many mix of courses we have. The student learn one by one and then becomes an engineer. It means every stage by stage he learns an incremental knowledge to become to complete a program. And all these courses must align with the program outcomes. Okay, they must have a proper alignment with the program outcomes. And the program outcomes, once you have a best mix, the program outcomes will tell you, okay, that is the characteristics of a salad. These individual ingredients make once they're prepared as integrated. That's why I told you, curriculum design is a major challenge in outcome-based education, especially for autonomous institutions and universities where they have the freedom to design their own curriculum. They need to select a course in such a way that it must be an effective curriculum, okay? Effective curriculum to make the program to be more effective to achieve all the program outcomes. Finally, we need to design a program graduate, okay? Graduate attributes, that is A to L or 1 to 12, whatever it is, okay? Finally, we need to have so many courses. We need to link this course outcomes to a program outcomes, okay? So whenever you link this, you need to look, okay? The final statement looks like we started from here. We have a vision and mission for the institution. We have a mission and mission for the institution, sorry, department. The department vision and mission must align with the program educational objectives. Okay. These program educational objectives must be linked to program outcomes. These outcomes are derived from graduate attributes. Okay, graduate attributes. These program outcomes has to be linked to a large base as a course outcome. Okay, if this that's why I told course outcomes are the major contributors, okay, of the design of a curriculum, the course attainment and the course outcomes are the major components which are going to affect the program. If you here, this is the whole base, this plays a major role, okay, in OBE. That's why I told repeatedly I'm telling that designing an effective curriculum is a major step. And especially as I told you, we have a very good models are available to write the outcome. But generally, if you, and the CDIO model says is, we are writing an outcome based on the given syllabus. And okay, this is maybe accepted because for an affiliated institution where you know the syllabus gives by somebody, you teach and then evaluation done by somebody. Whenever you have an autonomous institution, you take a syllabus or the syllabus first write outcome. For outcome, you make a syllabus. Then the syllabus will be very effective. As a teacher, as a mathematics teacher, for a first year student, what he has to learn. At least, and these first year mathematics, how it will be helpful in your higher electronics. So the mathematics required for electronics cannot be useful for a student graduate who is studying the mathematics what required for a computer science. Computer science requires a different mathematics. Electronics person require a different mathematics. Whereas a mechanical or a chemical engineering graduate require a different mathematics. So suppose let us look at a Laplace transform. Laplace transform is very much essential for me to understand my process control. Without a Laplace transform, I cannot understand the process control. If I don't have a Laplace transformer in my mathematics, then it is for me it is very difficult to teach a process control. Okay. Therefore, you must have a course linkages to be established very nicely. Okay. So in the afternoon session, you have a very good speaker. We are talking about to show you how to write link courses. Okay, link the courses. Why this that the linkage is necessary. Okay, for to have an effective program outcome. You cannot have arbitrary courses in our curriculum. Okay, therefore, writing an outcome for outcome, if you are writing a syllabus, then the curriculum looks to be very effective. Okay, that will be dealt in the next hour. Therefore, as I told you, COs plays a major role in your achieving your POs, in our achieving your PEOs, and achieving vision and mission. Thank you very much. But with a lot of delay, if you have any suggestions, you can put it in the chat box. Because of the last huge delay, okay, due to some technical slack, I sorry and I apologize for it. Okay, if you have any queries, you can share. Otherwise, close the stand. Some people are asking for a PSO again, as PSO should be specific to your knowledge of the domain of specialization. Okay, if it is an autonomous institution, it's a better way of writing. If it is an affiliated institution, write a PSOs based on the audit courses or the additional courses which you are going to offer over a period of 4 years, and you should always write what outcomes they are going to attain, what POs which are going to enhance. Yes, we will share the PPTs. We will share the PPTs. Yes, we will share the recorded videos also. Thank you very much. We will share the recorded videos. Sir, please, I request all the participants to join us by 2 o'clock. Thank you very much. Sir, please, all the participants to do a polling. Please give your valuable feedback, please. Now we are going to start the polling. Before you leave, please give your feedback. Please, all the participants requested to give your valuable feedback, please. Close.